Cam Heyward just threw the kind of support tweet you don't see every day. Loud, clear, and impossible to ignore. He didn't pick apart film or posture for the microphones. He praised Aaron Rodgers' toughness, reminded everyone that the guy can still make every throw in the book, and put the onus back on the team. If your quarterback is sacrificing his body, the rest of you better be doing the same. Let's set the scene. Pittsburgh took a 26-7 beating from the Buffalo Bills, and the images that stuck were ugly. Rodgers, blood on his face from a brutal strip sack, a fractured left wrist that he's reportedly been playing through, then getting up and coming back to finish the game. You can argue about schemes, you can argue about coaching, but few people can argue that Rodgers didn't give every ounce of himself that night. Heyward saw that, and he said what a leader does: acknowledge effort and demand accountability. Here's why Heyward's comments matter. Rodgers isn't just a veteran body out there. He's a proven, elite talent. Heyward's line that Aaron can make every throw known to man isn't hyperbole. It's a reality check. When your quarterback has that range and that experience, excuses shouldn't fly. But Heyward didn't stop at praise. He pointed out the obvious follow-up. If one guy is putting his body on the line, the unit needs to answer. That's as much a challenge to the locker room as it is support for Rodgers. Now about the drama that followed the game. Rodgers said something clumsy about film study and players showing up. It was a heat-of-the-moment remark after a rough loss, and the internet immediately turned it into Rodgers threw teammates under the bus. He later clarified, saying he meant Thursday meetings and urged folks to be self-critical. Heyward avoided the petty back and forth. His message was higher level. Sacrifice matters, and everyone needs to match the quarterback's investment. That's leadership compressing the noise into a single constructive demand. There's also context to how hard this season has been for Rodgers and the offense. He's playing through a fractured wrist, took a shot that led to a fumble return TD, and still keeps coming back. Then you look at the box score. The Steelers finished that day with 117 passing yards and 0 passing touchdowns. That's not just bad execution. That's a systemic failure that starts long before the ball snaps. Heyward's point is blunt. Rodgers can't carry creative schematics, dropped passes, missed assignments, and failing gap discipline by himself. The team needs to show up. On defense, Heyward has been equally unvarnished. He's called out the unit to stop the run better and to be more accountable in gap fits. That's the other half of this conversation. This team can't just lean on Rodgers and hope the rest follows. The defense has to bring consistency, and the offense has to clean up the details Rodgers has been flagging. Sharper routes, cleaner mental reps, fewer busted assignments. Leadership looks like both sides putting in the work, not pointing fingers. There's something else worth noting. Heyward's backing of Rodgers sends an internal message to fans and the franchise pipeline. It signals that inside the building, the veteran quarterback still has the room's confidence. That matters in a city where headlines can demand change overnight. When your captain publicly frames the narrative, "We're lucky to have him, now match him," it becomes harder for the chorus of "blame the QB" takes to drown out the bigger issue. This is a team problem. Let's be honest about stakes. The Steelers sit at a fragile point in the season, 6-6, still inside the messy jumble of the AFC playoff conversation, but trending the wrong way. If the unit doesn't correct course, Rodgers' body and the team's chances are wasted. If they do answer Heyward's call, his statement becomes a turning point, the kind of inside-the-room accountability that can flip a season. It's the difference between a late push and a slow fade. And hey, there's a human angle here too. Heyward has battled himself, asthma, the grind to stay elite, and the wear of a long career. His call to match Rodgers' sacrifice isn't just X's and O's, it's empathy-backed accountability. He's lived the internal grind and sees what it takes. So when he asks teammates to match Rodgers, he's not being performative. He's appealing to an ethos. Do the work, because the alternative is mediocrity and missed opportunity. There's one more layer: public relations and optics. Rodgers' post-game comments about film rooms were awkward because they easily become a narrative that fractures locker room unity, or appears to. Heyward's approach diffuses that by reframing the story. It's not about snitching or checking attendance sheets. It's about a shared standard. That's crucial for a team trying to stabilize during a tumultuous stretch. At the end of the day, Heyward's message is simple but heavy. Your quarterback is still putting everything on the line. Honor that. For Pittsburgh, the follow-through is where the season lives or dies. Tighten the run fits, clean up the mental errors, run cleaner routes, and stop the small things that become big things. If the Steelers answer that call, his words will look prophetic. If they don't, they'll look like the final plea from a captain trying to wake up a roster that's slowly falling asleep on the job. Either way, Heyward just sent a message everyone in Pittsburgh, players, coaches, and fans, needs to hear. The ball's in the team's court now. Match the man who keeps getting up, and maybe this season still has a pulse. Ignore him, and you might find the pulse fading fast.